Hi everybody, this is Melissa Fillmore. We're finally back with Q&A Wednesday. I apologize right now. Last week I was on a field trip on Wednesday, and honestly at this point in my prep I'm so kind of I forget to maybe warn people in advance. There is no Q&A Wednesday last week, so forgive me. I had a great time. I was able to go to Seattle and spend some time with my daughter and chaperone and get to do all that fun mom stuff. So for today, though, we have a great topic. This is something that, I take my questions and my ideas from a lot of my clients. And one thing that we really struggled with lately, people are they can't figure out why they're so unmotivated towards their goals and trying to figure out why is it that, I have these great things I want to accomplish. Why can't I just get myself motivated to get going and work towards it? So we're going to talk about that today. And I think that this applies to any topic. It's not just fitness and health. I think that this is anything in your life that tends to be a big goal or maybe something that you really want, but you don't quite know how to get there. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So just want to give you an update on my competition prep. I know that normally it's not something I talk a lot about, but I've kind of kept everybody up to speed this year. This is my last season. And then I'm going to focus on being coach and trainer and my family and doing all that great fun stuff. I'm not saying no forever, but it's time for my family to have a break from all the craziness that occurs when mom is getting ready to get on stage. So I'm just over 4 weeks out. As you can see, my face is looking pretty lean. Pretty excited about where things are going. So I just keep working. I will apologize in advance to all my clients. It does get to the point where I am slightly dysfunctional. So over the next 2 or 3 weeks, if I call and tell you that, we might only be able to hold one session a week, please forgive me. I will make it up to you. But I feel like if I can't give you the best of me, then, I don't want to take your money. So I want to be the best trainer and the best coach I possibly can be. So, okay, let's get back to why are we so unmotivated? It's a hard one. There's a lot of reasons, and I have my own opinions, but I actually found this really great blog by a guy named Kyle, I'm going to totally butcher his name, Eschenroder. And it's startupbrothers.com. I found it to be an incredibly good topic. He talked a lot about that. And again, he had a slightly different spin. He wasn't necessarily talking about health and fitness. But you know what? It's sometimes difficult, when you have to completely change your lifestyle in order to incorporate the things that are going to be required for your goals. So let's talk about that. The number one reason that you might feel unmotivated is that maybe you aren't grateful for how far you've already come. I get lots of clients that come in and they're like, well, I've only lost 10 pounds. I have so much further to go. And I'm going, yes, but look at what you've accomplished so far. How many people haven't done that? So, we need to be excited for how far we've come. You need to celebrate every step of the way. Okay, I'm sorry about that. For some odd reason, they tell me that my Wi-Fi is not working right, so I turned it on to data. So anyway, so you need to take those bigger goals. You need to break them down into smaller bite-sized goals so that you can accomplish them, and then you need to reward yourself. Instead of saying, well, I'm not going to go shopping until I drop 2 more pant sizes. Give me a break. Buy some pants that fit you, that make you look amazing and make you feel good. It's so much more motivating when you find ways to cheer yourself on. So Dan says, hi Dan. So the second reason might be envy. I think we all do a little bit of this because we're all human. Well, so-and-so didn't have to work as hard and she was able to get to the point where she's completely ripped. Yeah, well, you know what? We're not them. So, stop comparing yourself to other people. I know we do it. I do it. About this time in competition prep, I actually have to stop following certain people on Facebook just because it starts to really, it starts to mess with my head a little bit. And so I have to remember that I am me and, I can only do what I can do with my body and my physique and what I'm working towards on my goals. So that is part of it. The next one might be impatience. Oh, yeah, this is a good one. Super fun. You can't undo several years of not doing these things and think that you're going to be ripped or in complete shape or healthy in 3 weeks. It's just not going to happen. It takes time to see the results. You have to put forth some effort. it becomes, for me, you know that I preach this all the time. It's a lifestyle. Don't think that you're going to work on it really hard for 3 weeks and then go back to the garbage you were doing before and think that you're going to see the results that you wanted, or even keep the results that you finally got. Again, that's why I like one step at a time and change your life, change your lifestyle. I'm not the same person as I was 10 years ago, and not just my physique, but I'm talking about that I don't crave food anymore. I don't crave sugar. I don't even mentally crave it. When I get stressed out, which is the reason I used to eat, I actually have other ways to deal with it. Now, I'm not saying I don't love chocolate cake. I want a gourmet donut when I'm done, but I don't crave the garbage that I used to crave when, so it's taken amount of time to get to that point, right? Freya says, ugh, okay, hey, girl, I know, impatient. We're all impatient. We want to see results. In this day and age, everything is so convenient. Hi, Daniel. That we want to see it before we even put forth the effort. Good grief. You can get food delivered. We get things instantaneously these days. You just download it on your phone. It's a whole lot different than it used to be. So I know that we want to see those results in the other parts of our lives. It just doesn't happen that way. You have to have consistency. That's the biggest part. You don't have to change everything all at once. That's the next thing we're going to talk about is overwhelm. I would say that probably the biggest reason that most of my clients really start to get unmotivated is because they are overwhelmed by the amount of work that they feel that needs to be done. Stop it. Again, one day at a time. You're going to have to start with 1 or 2 habit changes in order to get where you want to go. If you try to change everything at once, the first major obstacle that comes your way, you're going to throw your hands in the air and go, good Lord, I can't do this. So I get very overwhelmed very easy. I have a lot going on in my life. And I find that in order to get through it, I have to slow down and go, okay, what can I tackle right now? And at this point in my prep, I even have to say, what can I do in this hour? Let me get through this hour, and then I'll deal with the next hour so that I don't completely get overwhelmed. You just can't. That's why I don't like New Year's resolutions. Everybody thinks that within the first 3 months, they're going to undo everything that they've done over the Christmas holidays. And then they can't maintain it. They can't go to the gym 6 days a week and prep their food every day. Start with one thing at a time. It makes it so much easier. And remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint, right? And it's not about how quick you can get it off. It's about how long can you keep it off once you get to that point where you're going, where you want to go, right? And then how about inaction? Some of us are paralyzed, especially again by that overwhelm. But none of your goals are going to come to you without doing something towards it. So start with one thing at a time. Okay, go if it's going to be, hey, I just need to eat better. Okay, make a plan. That's your first step. Make a plan into what you need to do. Okay, hold on. I have a really good question here and I want to make sure I cover it. How do you handle food grief? Like when you binge on some bad food and you feel awful afterwards? That's a good question, Freya. She wants to know, how do we handle when we eat really, really bad and we feel awful? Now, are you talking mentally awful, like the guilt, or are you talking about physically awful? Because usually what happens is both. Here's how I tell you to deal with that. When we, and again, I've eaten my feelings. I even will tell my clients, hey, you know what? I had a rough day, ate my feelings. I don't do it very often because I know how to deal with it at this point and I have bigger goals than that. But what I usually, if I get to that point, I allow it to I only deal with it at that moment, right? I don't allow getting off track one time to be off track for the rest of the week or the rest of the day or the rest of the month. A lot of people think, they throw their hands in the air. Okay, I screwed up. I just, binged on tacos and nachos. Well, screw it. I'm going to do it I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Come on, guys. You did it once. Did you think you were going to be perfect when you tried it? It's just not going to happen that way. You have to actually, it's not how many times you fall down. It's how many times you get back up. Get back up, get back on the bandwagon, get back in. And if you've messed up one meal that day, eat the rest of your meals for the day. You still have to feed your system. You have to fuel your body. And if you don't, you're going to be more likely to binge again. So that is a really great question. What's better, green peppers or red peppers? You know what? They both are great because they contain different vitamins. They're very nutrient dense. Veggies in general, green veggies, I usually kind of give that unlimited option to my clients. But, all the vegetables are great. The different colors just means they contain different vitamins. And honestly, you can't go too entirely wrong. I know that a lot of vegetables actually contain a little bit more in the way of carbs. But honestly, if you're eating clean and healthy, it's probably not going to affect you a whole heck of a lot more. Because they're a whole food, your body has to work much harder to break them down. We've talked in the past a little bit about how when is a calorie not a calorie? Well, when it's processed food, your body absorbs it much, much quicker and has to deal with it and usually store a lot of it. Versus when it's whole foods, your body has to heat up and break it down, and it's the fiber and everything in it will play a role and usher some of that through your system. So it definitely makes a difference, whole food versus not whole food. But taste is going to be the difference, but I don't know that there's really one that's better than the other. I love green peppers. So back to Freya. So yeah, mentally, you know what? You just have to reset your head. Reset your head. If you have to, go do some cardio. If you've binged and you're not quite sure what to do to get back on track, reach up, call somebody, email somebody. You still have my number, Freya. You can text me. Dude, I'm struggling. What can I do? Because somebody who's been there can help get you back on track. That's a good part of it. If it makes you feel better, do some extra cardio. Not that it's going to solve it all, but at least it'll make you feel mentally better that you've done something to kind of undo what you've done. I mean, and remember, we all do it. Nobody is perfect. So it does happen. You guys are great questions tonight. This is awesome. So back to inaction, if you do nothing, you're not going to get where you want to go. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, but, most of us have lists of things that we'd like to accomplish and goals that we'd like to get to, and we really never actually put an action plan out there. So you just need to get moving. The next one is loss of meaning. Sometimes we get unmotivated because really the reason why we started isn't really either a big enough reason why. Maybe that reason doesn't exist anymore, or maybe you're just not enough emotionally attached enough to that goal. You have to really want it, because honestly, when you don't feel like it, you still have to go be consistent to get where you want to go. And trust me, I don't always feel like it. I don't always feel like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and doing 45 minutes of cardio. I don't always feel like eating the way that I have to. I would love to eat a chocolate cake at the moment, especially, when it's been a long time since I've had any chocolate cake. But my why is big enough that I want to win more than I want to do any of those other things, like give up. So, I really think it comes down to figuring out, it has to be a big why. I mean, it really does. You have to want it so badly you're willing to do anything to get it. You've probably heard the saying, you can have anything you want if you want it badly enough and you're willing to pay the price. So that has to be what you're looking for. Now, I've actually seen where even facing death has not been motivating enough in order to do something specific, when it comes to like health. And I've seen it in multiple situations, but wow, I don't get it. Facing death would really motivate me to get a better lifestyle, to make some changes in my life. But I have seen where that was not even a big enough motivation for someone to work towards a healthier lifestyle or a better goal. So keep that in mind. It has to mean something to you. And maybe you need to step back and figure out, are you doing this for you, or are you doing this for someone else? I think it needs to be important. And then the last one that he talks about is that, he says, if you have no skin in the game, you're not going to be really motivated to do that. And all that means is that you have to be invested. You can't just say that you want to get there, but not think that you're going to. Okay, if you want to get on stage as a bodybuilding competitor, you're going to have to invest in yourself. You're going to have to invest some time in the gym, some time doing some food prep. You're going to have to invest a lot of money, because it is not cheap, because you're going to have to buy food, supplements. You're going to have to pay for a hotel, pay for a suit, pay to register. There's a lot that you have to invest in yourself to do in order to get on stage. And I think that comes down to any sort of goal. If you want to, I don't like the word lose weight, but if you want to lose 20 pounds, you're going to have to invest in yourself by buying the right kinds of foods, making sure that you have time to do cardio, making sure that you know how to strength train correctly so that you can build muscle in order to help burn fat. If you don't invest in yourself, you're just not going to get there. So you have to be willing. The majority of my clients, when they finally get to me, they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And honestly, that's when I want them, because that's where I was when I started, when I learned to lift. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. 210 pounds, 46% body fat, miserable, unhealthy, couldn't figure it out. definitely addicted to carbs and sugar, just didn't know where to go. So, it took an entire change of what I needed to do and a different view at it. Learning to lift really did change my life. So, and you know what, girls, if you think you're all going to get bulky, call that bulk. You can call that bulk if you want. I ate a lot of food, by the way. Hi, Brianna. I miss you too. Thanks. I'm getting close. 4 weeks, hon. 4 weeks. Anyway, so great topic. If one of those kind of hits you hard and you need to talk about it, let me know. I love response. I love comments. Please leave comments below. And if you have questions, those are great questions, by the way. I love answering those kind of things, and maybe we'll have to hit some more on those topics. We have talked a little bit before about emotional eating, because that is a big thing. Food can be a drug. So, learning to deal with that is a big deal. But yeah, if you have questions, please either leave some comments below. You can also email me at melissa@fillmorefitness.com. I love to respond. My goal really is to educate everybody so that they do things the right way. Again, it's a lifestyle. So everybody have an incredible Wednesday evening, and we'll be talking again next week.